was set up a certain way. But what I want to say is that traditionally Jewish people have looked at celebrating Passover as a physical salvation. The Jewish people were slaves in Egypt, and God delivered them with a mighty hand. In fact, it's one of the stories that Father wants always to be told. Father God Almighty wants us to always know that He had a mighty hand on the Egyptians and what He did to them. And in the ancient world, there are sources that talk about what happened in Egypt. Now, then something else happened. At the time of Yeshua, at the time of Yeshua, He extended, it wasn't just a physical salvation of people anymore. What Yeshua established was that the Passover was to be something that we see as spiritual salvation. That it's not just getting out of Egypt and becoming free physically, but by what He did on the tree. Yeshua also showed us at the Passover Seder that He celebrated with His disciples, that Passover was also a spiritual celebration. It was a celebration of coming out of slavery, not from Egypt, but slavery from sin. Thank you, I appreciate that. Feel freedom. Amen. And that was a big change, because it's not just a physical salvation anymore. Unfortunately, so many people in Jewish circles who don't know Yeshua yet, they see these, all they see is the physical salvation. God saved our people. And that's important. I'm not trying to negate that. But then Yeshua added a much huger dimension. Now there's one more dimension to this, and that is the end of the age. Now in the book of Revelation, it talks about something called the marriage supper of the Lamb. Now a lot of people believe, because it's kind of hard to prove this exactly, that the marriage supper of the Lamb is a Passover meal. And the reason why they say that is because Yeshua said things like, at His Seder meal with His disciples, He said, you will not eat again with me until you eat with me in paradise. Boy, the terrible paraphrasing job. But you all know what I'm talking about. He said, until you will not. John, tell me. I think I'm slightly misquoting it, but the idea is that He said that at the end, well, He wouldn't eat with His disciples again until He eats in paradise at the end of the age. Now, I don't know why, but it's generally accepted that this is the marriage supper of the Lamb, which is a whole other story in itself. But just taking it at face value, what those words mean, is a time of fellowshipping at the end of the age. Now, why do we need that? First, we need physical salvation. We want to be free. I believe very strongly that in this country, there's still a lot of people who believe in freedom and liberty. All right, well, maybe God is showing us that we need to have liberty. We need freedom from slavery. But then we also need something else. We need to be free from sin. We need to know that we cannot do the right things all the time. We're going to fail sometimes. And because of that, we need something called salvation. We need to know that somehow the penalty is paid. So that's a spiritual salvation. And then, but even so though, this life, we don't have total victory. We still sometimes mess up, say and do the wrong things, have to apologize. But when the final Seder comes, at the end of the age, if that is the way it's supposed to be, then we're going to the final level. And that is that we will not be making mistakes anymore. That we will not have the kind of life we have here. Hallelujah. Thank you again. I really appreciate that. So I see it on 3 levels. And I would encourage you, as we go through the Seder tonight, to understand that this is not just one level of getting out of Egypt, but it has the second level of Yeshua offering us freedom from our sin by something called grace, which means unmerited favor. And then, even so, even with grace, we still mess up a lot. Unless there's any perfect people here, I don't know. But I know that I still do, and I guess I'm going to say it, 72 years young within the scheme of eternity. So, I wanted to share that with you as we go through the Haggadah. And the Haggadah is this book here, so it's one of the names we'll use for it. And I asked Brian to tell you to take it home specifically because we're not going to read the first, what page is this? 1 and 2. The Seder table and the introduction. You'll have to do that on your own. If you're not old enough to read, hopefully you've got parents, brothers, or sisters who will help you. So, there's a lot of interesting things there, but I've never gone through a Seder where we did every single thing there. Because there's just a lot of material. But we're blessed to have Dr. Merritt tomorrow, who will share some more. He has a lot of knowledge. I learned things from him, and I've been to many of his Seders, but I learned the way he said a few things tonight. So that's about what I wanted to say to start off. And Brian, where are we going from here? It's a good thing he's here because he's sort of directing me a little bit. Oh, we're going to do the first one. All right, on page 5. Now, I'm going to ask for people to be readers. I want and expect volunteers tonight. I'm going to point to a table and say, who wants to read, raise your hand. I'll pick one of you, and then the next time I'll pick the next one and move to other tables. So, the first cup, actually John said it, is called Kiddush. Kiddush, or sanctification, also is from the word Kodesh, or holy. Holy in Hebrew and sanctification are basically the same root word. And it says something here in this introduction. I'm sorry, okay, a couple of, John did such a, I'm not going to say anymore. I would like someone at this first table over here to raise your hand if you would read the paragraph underneath where it says, Kiddush Shel Pesach, which means the Passover sanctification prayer. So I don't see any hands. Does anybody have a hand over here who want to read? Or you don't have any light to read?
Do you want them to fill the first cup while we do that?
Please fill your first cup. Now the one thing I don't want to do tonight is, I don't want to read all this. I mean, I kind of put this thing together, so I don't need it, but I would like you folks to help me out tonight by reading. So, you have grape juice on your table.
Okay, there's grape juice on your tables. You'll each have a cup, and
now,
please share it. There's more in the back there. And with each cup, we will drink. We will fill it, and then there will be a reading and a blessing, correct, Jeremiah? And then we will drink it at some point. So don't start drinking yet.
Right. Don't start drinking yet. Now, you don't have to fill the cup up all the way, because I can see from the size of these bottles, they're not going to go around for everybody 4 times. So just take as much as you feel you'd like to take, and then we'll try to make sure we have enough. That's one of the things about Passover Seder that wives worry about. Oh, am I going to have enough wine and grape juice to finish for everybody, 4 cups? Okay, we have a reader, please. Begin reading where it says, "Blessed are you, the Lord our God."
Blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the world, who chose us from among all people and sanctified us in your word. In love, Lord God, you gave us appointed seasons for joy, holidays, and seasons for gladness. And this day, the feast of unleavened bread, the time of our freedom, a holy convocation, a memorial to the greatness of your salvation. For you have chosen us and you have sanctified us from all peoples, and your word is true and stands forever. Blessed are you, O Lord, who sanctifies ministers and the time of our freedom. Amen.
Amen. That was very well. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to chant this in the traditional fashion, just so you get a flavor of what goes on in traditional homes. Now I don't have 3 hands, so I'm not going to hold my cup. Oh, thank you very much. All right. So I'm going to begin in the what we would call the transliteration, which is Hebrew and English characters, which is right below the English. So you've heard what it means, and now you're going to hear it chanted in Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'am, v'kiddeshanu b'dvarecha, v'titen lanu Adonai Eloheinu b'ahava, moadim l'simcha, chagim uzmanim l'sason. Et yom chag hamatzot hazeh, zman chayutenu, mikra kodesh, zecher l'gdulat yeshuatecha, ki banu v'acharta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, udvarcha emet, v'kayam la'ad, Baruch atah Adonai, v'kadesh ma'aminim, u'zman cherutenu, Amen. And the Kiddush ends with the blessing on the bottom. Now I'm going to do it since it's just one line in the English, and I'll sing it. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the world, who creates the fruit of the body. Amen. Many of you are familiar with this forward prayer method. Please, anytime you know what's going on and you know how to sing something, please join in. I like to have all of us participating as much as possible. So let's join together in the forward prayer method in the Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei B'ri hagafen. Amen. This cup is now a symbol of joy. Let us drink it and remember always that the joy of the Lord is our strength. Amen? Amen. Let's join together. You don't have to drink the whole cup. You don't want to. Next thing we do is we turn the page. I'm just being funny. You couldn't feel that's good. All right, you're beginning to understand it. Now we're coming to the brachas, to the washing of hands. Now, this is a symbolic thing that is a traditional custom. Although I know in the Middle Ages that because of the hand washing, even though it was ritual, it kept some of the Jewish people from getting some of the diseases of the Middle Ages, and they were accused at times of not being sick when they should have been. But in any event, I don't see these table.
Yeah, so there is coming around, there's bowls and water coming around for this portion. Gabe, did you get a bowl for up front here for Jeremiah and myself?
We're going to need another reader for the first table. Oh, actually, why don't I skip tables and go around? Nothing personal, you guys. Oh, there's hands there, but that one went up quick, so. If you would like, why don't you read in the middle of the page, the blessing, where it says, it's the second paragraph from the top. Blessed are you, yes.
Blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the world, who has sanctified us in your word and commanded us concerning the washing of hands. Amen.
Amen. And now we're going to sing this. This has the same sing-song kind of tune that we do with the Bowery Prayer Gospel, although the wording is a little difficult. So it's talking about washing hands. So we're going to say the blessing, and then we'll do the hand washing. There is a traditional way of doing it, but it doesn't really make it. I think that just dip the cup in. How would you like me to tell people to do this? Suggestions?
So what we usually do is one person hold the bowl, another person put your hand over it, and then have them pour water over it just a little bit. Okay, here we go, we'll do a demonstration.
And again, it's just a little bit. You're not taking a bath. You should have done that last night. You laughed out of that anyway. So let's join together and we'll sing the Hebrew for the Bowery Prayer, washing of hands. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'dvarecha v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim. Amen. Lord, we pray that our hearts also will be clean before you tonight, and not just our hands. Amen. John just said it's a tradition. All right, we still have people washing. I guess we will. Quite a few people at several tables. Now we come to what I designed, what I did, was I didn't like being hungry waiting for the meal. So I found traditions where they ate both a hard-boiled egg and a potato and also a salad at this point of the meal. And guess what? Then you're not so hungry. Now tonight, we're sort of waiting on the salad, but you did have an opportunity to get something off the table. So, right. I was trying to say, thank you, Brian's helping me. What I was trying to say is that we're not going to have the salad now, because we had some, and the way the salad came. But we are going to have those other items. And this part of the service is traditionally where it says karpas in the middle of page 7, to partaking of the vegetable. And this has something to do with spring. I can't vouch for why everything is put in here. John may know He's very smart when it comes to things like that. So come back tomorrow. I'm going to keep bugging, coming back to hear him. And he's got a lot of knowledge, and he's been leading Seder for a very long time. Anyway, there is a tradition of eating a spring vegetable at this point. And naturally, there's a blessing. You know what it said in Fiddler on the Roof? You know, they said there's even a blessing for the Tsar, that God should keep him far away from us. Now, some people don't know Fiddler on the Roof there. Right. So, at this point, I'm afraid people are getting shorter lessons. The first one was the longest one. That was special, so you were very fortunate. But now, from the third table here, can I have a volunteer to read where it said, "Blessed are you, O Lord our God."
Blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the world, who has sanctified us in your word and commanded us concerning the washing of hands. Amen.
Actually, go ahead and take another blessing. A little further down, 2/3 of the way down.
2/3.
Yep. It says, "All dip parsley and potato and salt water and proclaim." But we're going to say the blessing first.
Blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the world, who creates the fruit of the earth. Amen.
Amen. Let's join together in the Hebrew. This one's a little easier. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri ha'adam. Amen. Now remember, you have the transliteration there right below the Hebrew. So you can attempt it, because the transliteration is the Hebrew and English characters. So I want to hear it, hopefully, a few more people on these blessings. Thank you, Lord, for our freedom and for cleansing us through the blood of the Lamb and making us your covenant people. Amen. Now, this is where we're going to have the potato pellet and the egg and pretty much anything else you want. If you want to grab something for
So this is where the parsley, karpas, and the potato is dipped within. There should be a cup on your table, the salt water. The salt water cup. Okay. To symbolize the tears of the Israelites while they were in bondage. Okay. So you'll dip the parsley or the potato or both in it and partake of it. We have
Now, this is a Seder plate. I think you all have one on your table. And this has the elements. I'm not going to tell you. I told you on page 1, you'll have to read it on your own. So that's your homework between now and next year, is to figure out what